What's up, Trek Nation? Welcome back to After the Snap. It's me, Tasha Pierce, bringing you my thoughts on Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 6, Bounty, which goes a little something like this. Now on the run, Picard and the skeleton crew of the USS Titan must break into Starfleet's most top-secret facility to expose a plot that could destroy the Federation. Picard must turn to the only soul in the galaxy who can help, an old friend. Now, before I start hitting you with these spoilers, have you even watched the episode? If not, what are you even doing? Pause me for an hour and watch the episode. I'll wait. Everybody else, let's go. So this episode is truly a love letter to TNG fans and Star Trek fans in general. Bounty marks the first time in a long time we see all 7 main TNG characters in one episode. We also make it to Daystrom Station, where some incredible artifacts are stored, and to the Fleet Museum on Athan Prime. It's hard to critique an episode that almost solely exists to awaken the nerd in me. So much of it worked for me. In fact, there was really only one thing that didn't. More on that in a few. Now, what I like the most is that in between all the nostalgia, that underlying theme of family was still present. Picard grapples with the knowledge that he passed on a genetic flaw to Jack. In many ways, Geordi has done something similar with Sydney. Jack and Seven bond over ships and also wanted something to connect with. And later, Altan Soong's final creation must juggle the programming of all its predecessors and become its own person. Over on Vadic's ship, she expresses a feeling of duty to her brethren, meaning even the villain is motivated by a sense of familiar obligations. I enjoyed the reunions episode 6 brought and how the reactions were very in line with what we know about the characters. The character moments were everything to me. A few episodes ago, I wondered why everyone was dissing Picard's wine. According to Worf, it's shit. Who would have guessed? The observation room scene was right out of TNG. The core members of command sat around a table and hammered out a plan. I paid attention to the bits of exposition peppered throughout the conversation that helped some of those uninitiated in DS9's Dominion War without laying things down for all of us who remember the plot. That conversation culminated in the rest of the episode completely ignoring Shaw, save for his LaForge fanboy moment. The away team heading to Daystrom to discover what else had been stolen consisted of Riker, Worf, and Raffi. That brings us to the key given to them by Kryn. I thought the key would be Moriarty, but it was just a key. Of course, one of the puzzles needed to access the vault turned out to be Moriarty. I thought it was a clever way to test the intruders, but it's also the part that stuck in my craw. They turned Moriarty into a Minuteman. Seeing how they later used old TNG footage to remind us of Riker teaching Data to whistle a Pop Goes the Weasel made me wonder why they hadn't opted to do the same with Moriarty. Whatever the case, Daniel Davis got a payday, so yay. I was partially correct in my theory that it would be Lore guarding Daystrom Station. Turns out it was damn near the whole Soong family all stuffed inside a golem. That was better than only having Lore, and I really liked that the away team wasn't going to leave him, or I guess them, there. That's how Riker was caught by the Starfleet changelings. He heroically made sure the rest of the team got away. While the team was on Daystrom, the Titan had been pursued by other Starfleet vessels. They ran to Athan Prime, home of the Fleet Museum and Commodore Geordi LaForge. Now, as we all know, Geordi's daughter Sydney is the helmsperson on the Titan. So just as I suspected, he wasn't happy with Picard placing his daughter in harm's way. After starting his family, Geordi had taken the safe route of being in charge of the Fleet Museum. This was more or less a home for dinner kind of posting. So his other daughter, Alondra, was right by his side, an engineer, just like her old man. Sydney made a different decision with her career, which put her at odds with dear old dad. Now, the emotional conversation she had with Geordi showed how much she's just like her father in other ways, mainly this whole stubborn streak. When she had a plan, she stuck to her guns. It also showed how much I missed LeVar Burton. This is my favorite part of episode 6. Not the ships, not the stuff at Daystrom, but this raw moment between a man and his child. I keep mentioning the ships and the circus atrocities at Daystrom. Now, if you'd like to join me in a deeper dive into those things, meet me here on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Central Time for my live stream. We go far into spoiler territory. We talk about the intricate details of the episodes, and we speculate about where we think things are going next. I've always got a theory in the oven. Sometimes I'm spot on, and sometimes I miss. That's part of the fun of theorizing. And I hope you will bring your craziest theory to the potluck. Everyone is welcome. Anywho, by the time this episode ended, I'm pretty sure there wasn't a dry eye in the building. From Seven speaking fondly about her Voyager rebirth as the theme softly accompanied her, to Jack finally realizing that he'd inherited far more than Irumodic syndrome from his dear old dad, it tugged at the heartstrings. The young LaForges and Jack even got up to some shenanigans, stealing a cloaking device from the HMS Bounty, a Klingon bird of prey that's housed at the Fleet Museum. You might remember it from Star Trek The Search for Spock and Star Trek The Voyage Home. Sydney and Jack look like they're pretty into each other too, and Geordi warned Jack, stay away from my daughter, as he helped them install the cloaking device on the Titan. It's just a good old fun picnic, just a family picnic. And once the physical manifestation of the entire Soong family was safely rescued, we learned each personality was there, including Law, Data's daughter, and B4. The big reveal, however, was what was stolen from Daystrom along with that portal weapon. It's been hinted that it was likely a weapon more deadly than the portal weapon, and we witnessed Vatic use that with devastating effect. I think that might have been an understatement. The item stolen was the original body of Jean-Luc Picard. Boom, boom, boom! Now you already know I have a theory, but this one needs to simmer a little while, because if I'm right, well, I almost hope I'm not. Now last but not least, we find Riker has been apprehended by some changeling/Starfleet officers. He's being interrogated and tortured, but he will never give up the location of the Titan and her crew. Just then, one of the changelings transforms into Vatic, and when they transport him over to the Shrike, she reveals her leverage to get him talking. She's kidnapped his wife, Deanna Troi. What a freaking episode. Now on my regular 5-point scale, I give this one a 4.95, only because I can't get past that Moriarty minute. Next week's episode is entitled Dominion, in which, crippled, cornered, and out of options, Picard stages a gambit to trap Vatic and reveal her true motive. So, jump in the comments and tell me what this episode meant to you. While you're there, smash that dislike button if you disagree with my Moriarty take. But still, subscribe to my channel with your notifications in the on position so you'll remember Sunday's live stream, where you can yell at me in person. Now, if you'd like to further support the channel, slide me a super thanks. Or you could become a patron and join this channel, like Geek Filter and these fine folks. Thanks so much for joining me this week. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next one. Live long and prosper. Peace.